Can you hear the pencils quivering, the scent of paper? Where did you put your stylus again? The ink must flow. October is here, and welcome to this year's Paleotober challenge. The principle is simple. Each day you discover new species and you draw it. Paleotober is a challenge inspired by Inktober, but with a paleontological twist. As always with these kinds of challenge, the point isn't to create a masterpiece, so even a simple sketch is valid. The goal is just to have fun and to learn about the wonderful world of extinct species. But you might wonder, how can I draw something I do not know? Fear not, my friend, because I am here. And that is why we are here today, to show a little bit what they are and how actually very easy it will be to draw them. So, shall we begin? Okay, let's go. Up. There we go. So this is the list. Each day one species. Like every year, we have a little rule, a very interesting rule. That is, every 2 days, you have a vertebrate, a non-vertebrate, a vertebrate, another vertebrate, etc., etc., so that we can explore more of biodiversity. So let's start with the first species, Ptychodus. Why did I choose Ptychodus for the first day? First, I did the order of the species was completely randomized with the very old technique of writing names on papers and then mixing them and drawing some one after another. So what we chose were the species. The order is random. So first of the challenge is Ptychodus, which was chosen for first reason because the name is very cute. Which is a very valid reason to choose a species, and because it's a very interesting shark that we actually have a lot, well, not a lot, but we have enough data to represent it, but it's actually very rare to see pictures of this one. What is it? So it's a shark. It is very, very close to the family of Port Jackson sharks, like the little extant shark that I pictured here. And these sharks are very peculiar because they have very specialized teeth that are actually plates, and so they look a little bit like bubbles, and these are adaptations for eating mollusks and echinoderms and things like that. So you're going to say, but if it's just a Port Jackson shark, what is interesting about it? Well, my friends, it is it goes from 4 to 7 meters long. Some people have said that it could reach 10 meters, but honestly, I'm not very into this kind of trying to get the longest animal ever. So I'm more okay with 4, 5. It's good enough. I mean, it's already bigger than a great white shark. So what do you want more? It's a giant Port Jackson, so very easy, very cool. You have no excuse to skip it. Second, Euproops. Again, it was chosen mainly because of its ridiculous name. I mean, Euproops? What's that name? It's a little bit like Boops. Do you know the Boops fish? That's completely something else. Anyway, so Euproops is a horseshoe crab from 300 million years ago. It's not very big, 10 centimeters. Okay, but what make it very interesting for me is that it has a sort of skirt, and like, what? That's so cool. So very cool little invertebrate. So don't skip it either. Third, should I really present this one? It's actually a very classic one in paleo art. Metriorhynchus. It feels wrinkly when I say it in English like that. Metriorhynchus is an extinct crocodile in the Pseudosuchian family, and these crocs decided that land was a bit too mainstream, too lame, so they decided to go back to the ocean. So these are paddle-equipped crocodiles. So very cool, very easy, a little bit awesome bro on the side. So a good species. 4, Opabinia. Sorry, I didn't pick a very interesting, a very scientific illustration, but really, because do I really have to present it? It's a Dinocarida species. So some might say that they are closer to annelids. Some say that they are closer to velvet worms. I'm more of the velvet worm team, just so you know. And it's also the hero of many memes for some reason. People love Opabinia. So Snibbity Snap Boy, I hope he gets a lot of arts. At least for myself, I'm very excited to draw it. 5, it's my girlfriend, actually, Qianzhousaurus, close to Tyrannosaur, and I'm not saying this because it's a dinosaur, it's really a Tyrannosauridae, so this isn't just a marketing ploy to get you interested in this one. She's beauty, she's grace, she will eat your entire face. She's very interesting, and I'm saying she because I am completely bugged out by Prehistoric Planet and how she was so beautiful in it. By the way, if you haven't seen Prehistoric Planet, please get the free free trial on Apple TV and watch this documentary. It's beautiful. It's cool. Qianzhousaurus is very interesting because it's a tyrannosaur with a very long, elongated nose. So if you want, you could draw Tyrannosaurus, but don't you want to see a little more diversity? So yeah, Qianzhousaurus, cool. 6th species, we are in the non-vertebrate side of the force. It's a Ctenophora, the name is Ctenorhabdotus. What is interesting about it is that Ctenophorans, although they might look like jellyfish, they aren't jellyfish. It's not the same group, it's just a little more primordial, we will say. It's acceptable because we are just among each other. What is interesting about this one is that these Ctenophora are part of a family that is now extinct. That was particular because they didn't have any tentacles. So quite easy. Yes, they have RGB lighting. It's pretty cool, in my fair opinion. And yeah, you can go crazy with the colors if you intend to use color, at least. On my part, I think I will try, at least for this one, to color it. So, cool. 7. We're ending the first week of October with Mecistotrachelos. Mecistotrachelos is a very cool lizard. Archosaur, we don't really know as of now its phylogenetic position, so it's quite big, 1 meter and 5. So yeah, it's a thing. It's Triassic. I thought it was Permian at first, and then I did a bit of research because it's it looks like a Stegosaurus avis, but with a giraffe head. It's also very reminiscent of the extant species Dracovolans, that is a lizard, a true lizard, this one, with elongated ribs that serves the purpose of gliding. So very interesting. It's a lizard that glides and has a giraffe neck. So pretty cool, in my fair opinion. Next, 8. Even in French, I can't say that name. Hymenaea protera. It's a legume. So we have the first plant of the 3 plants. Sorry, Amy. I am also very impressed that we do have a fossil Ctenorhabdotus. It's really we are really lucky for that. Yeah. Oh, okay. Hymenaea protera, so is the first of the 3 plants that we have. And it's okay. You're going to say, but it's extant. Yes. Okay. There are extant member of this genus that are still living today. But protera is the species that is responsible for all the formations of Dominican amber. So they are the reason why we have so much amber in the Dominican Republic. So pretty cool. Morphologically, it's a little tree with ovoid leaves, I would say. Yeah, the name sounds a little bit naughty for some reason. I can't really quite match why that is. Next. So we have our first plant. That's done. Next, we have Atlasaurus. Okay, I joked a little bit that this was a bit of a cursed tober because for some reason I added a lot of cursed species, and this one is maybe the worst sauropod there's ever been. Someone asked him, how long do you want your arms? And he answered, yes. So we have a very small-headed giant that is somehow gorilla-shaped, and honestly, I hate it. And I don't know why I added it, but because maybe I'm too honest with biodiversity, and for some reason I really want to explore everything and not discriminate, you know. So we're not going to discriminate Atlasaurus, but I just want to I just want you to know that I hate it, and I'm very glad that Luigi, you agree with this. I did it to spite myself at first. We do agree. So we all agree that it's a really cursed sauropod. I'm very glad that you're here tonight for that, to say that. So we have the worst sauropod. I'm very disturbed that I wasted one of the dinosaur places for that one. Anyway, so we have a second dinosaur after Qianzhou. Now let's go to 10th day, Chresmodidae. So these are actually a group of insects. This is a giant. This is a group of very big insects. The Chresmodidae. They had apparently the same lifestyle as. I forget the words. Geris? Oh, I guess there is an English word for geris. So, insects that live on the surface of water, that use their very long legs to sort of surf on the surface, a bit like Jesus. So, Jesus, we're getting somewhere. So these guys were from the Jurassic and the Cretaceous. They are quite big, and they are very easy to draw because you just have to copy the extant species. Say they are 20 centimeters, and there you go. So, easy mode. And don't forget to type really Chresmodidae, because this term gives you more result in Google image. Next, 11. Oh, second member of Cursed Tober. We have Myotragus. This one is a goat, a very normal goat, you would say, except that it sort of wants to absorb your soul with their eyes. And why is that? Because it has front-facing eyes. It's looking directly into your soul. We don't know why that is, because usually front-facing eyes are a characteristic of predatory animals. So was this goat predatory? We don't think so, because it didn't have a specialized dentition. So it was just weird for some reason. We don't know why. But it's horrendous. So I wanted you to draw it. I think it's very nice and thoughtful to put so many cursed animals in this challenge. Okay, next. 12. Websteroprion. This one is a good boy. Good boy. It's a bobbit worm. It's the equivalent of an extant species that we have, the bobbit worm there, here. Very beautiful. It's an annelid, so it's a sort of worm, and it's known to be a very good predator. It hides in the sand. It has its very cute pair of jaws like that, and when something goes on top, it just snabbity snab, and extant ones are quite terrifying apparently, when you go into the water and you want to explore the seas, and this one is the 1 meter long version. So cool, and I hope I don't know if you can see, but these worms, these extant worms, are very much iridescent, and this is due to their kete. These are sorts of fur, let's say, but in the annelid style, and this is something that you can see also in Hermione annelids, so not the geeky girl from Harry Potter, but really the annelid, and it's very beautiful. So we could imagine that Websteroprion was also iridescent, but we don't have any data, so it's as you wish. Next one. Araripesuchus. So for this one we have decided that we wanted the Dogu croc. An interesting thing about Paleoctober is that we've never had any Pseudosuchian in the previous lists. So this one is the first year we have so many Pseudosuchians. This is the second one, there's a third one coming next. So Araripesuchus, a very... it's a smaller croc, let's say, and it's known for being bipedal and quite athletic. So, very cool. Crocodog. Then, 14th, Coxoplectoptera. This one are insects, as you can see. They are close to mayflies, and I really like these ones because this one is larva. The larva apparently wanted to be a fairy, so it has these very nice little twink antennae, very cute, very stylish. The adult looks very much like an extant mayfly. Just be careful that in general all fossils of Coxoplectoptera lack their abdomen, so don't forget to add the abdomen. It had one, it just never is conserved in the fossils. 15. We are at the middle. Heterodontosaurus, another of the cursed Tober lists. Imagine a very cute little dinosaur, but actually it has enormous canines, which is very weird because for very long mammals were considered like the only group where you can have differentiated teeth. So when this is a misconception that is slowly but surely falling apart with recent observations. And this dinosaur, so called Heterodontosaurus because it has heterodontia, I don't know. It is heterodont, so it has differentiated teeth. There are also some lizard species today that have differentiated teeth, and I really hope that someday we stop having this kind of concept, because really it doesn't help with understanding phylogeny. Also, it can be used for many heterophobic memes. You can use it for saying heterodont. When someone straight says something stupid, you can say heterodont. Anyway, next, 16, Ancyloceras. An ammonite, and you can also use it as an instrument because it looks very much like a tuba. It's one of these weird ammonites that we know of. I am slowly but surely exploiting the weird ammonite area, and I have trouble finding new ones every year, but when I saw this one, I knew it had to be in the challenge, because really it's a tuba. I could play I could play a song with that. I'm very sure of it. So Ancyloceras at the middle of the month, quite easy in my opinion. You just draw the body and then you add the tentacles. So pretty cool. Next. Third and last of the Pseudosuchians, Revueltosaurus. Revueltosaurus, nice. Very cute for this one. I really like this one because first, it's a croc. It's a croc. It has upright legs, not sprawled like our extant crocs. It's a vegetarian, so am I going to make jokes about vegetarians, or are we going to be nice today? I think we're going to be nice today. And it has a very big head. It's very weirdly proportioned. So an interesting croc, in my fair opinion. So 18. Now something that you will never see in another challenge. Archaeocyatha. These are sponges. One of the dude, really? These are among the first animals that have begun making reefs. So these are reef builders. So very cool. They are very varied in matter of morphology, so you have a lot of choice. So even though it's a sponge, you have no excuse to say, "Oh, I'm not inspired." Come on, look at this diversity of morphology, and tell me that you aren't inspired. It's so cool. And by the way, this is from Stanton Fink, because we stan Stanton Fink. This isn't a joke. I really hate when people are dismissive of his illustrations, because overall he has done a tremendous work on Wikipedia by representing species that had never been represented before. So people are just assholes, in my opinion. So yes, for Archaeocyatha. 19. We are taking to the skies with Dimorphodon. So this is a pterosaur. You know it very well, I think. There's no real reason to present it, but I will still present it a little bit. You have seen it in monster form in Jurassic World. You can now forget everything you saw in Jurassic World and now accept the light and truth of Dmitry Bogdanov's artwork. So a very big-headed pterosaur with very sharp teeth. So a very interesting pterosaur, and I hope you have fun representing it. Thank you. Next. Rhynia. Rhynia, the last. No, this is just the second of the plants of the challenge. Rhynia is very interesting because it's among the first plants. So it's from 400 million years ago. It's a bit like a phylogenetic tree decided that it wanted to be a true species. It wanted to be alive. So phylogenetic tree, because these plants were dichotomic, which means that they separate their stems into like that, and they can't do like 3 things at the same time, you know. So very important fossils, not very many representations, and I hope that some people will reach the 20th day to draw it. Next, Koolasuchus, temnospondyle, very cool guy, Lazarus taxon, which means that it's part of a family that has disappeared for millions of years and was suddenly rediscovered later. So that means that during all that time there were probably hidden temnospondyles that we have no record of. So this one is among the last temnospondyles, a monster. For this one is very big, 3 meters long. I'm not very much a fan of the one from Walking with Dinosaurs. Firstly, because it kind of eats the cute lady Nesora, and that's not very kind of him. And that's not very cool, you know. And second of all, because it really doesn't look like a real animal. So, I'm very much a fan of this version, and yeah, I was very nice this year because I didn't put too many temnospondyles, which means that I was good at pretending like I am very much not biased at all. Like, okay, but still temnospondyles superior to everything. Next. Karatavoblatta, oh my, the last insect on the list, if I remember well. This one is a roach, Dictyoptera, a cockroach, so it has, right now it's a bit sprawled because of the way it died, so you can see the wings right here, you can see the pronotum, very big and spiky legs, so you're going to tell me, but Tigre, that's just a roach. Why would you want me to draw a simple roach that is identical to extant ones? Because it's not identical to extant ones. Can you see this little thing? This is called an ovipositor, and extant roaches don't have ovipositors. This one is a primordial trait that has been lost in extant species. Nowadays, roaches use more ootheca to give birth. There are many ways of giving birth in roaches. I'm not going to detail here, but one day I think I will have to do a whole video on that because it's very interesting. Did you know that some were viviparous, like really viviparous, like they have babies and everything? It's incredible. Anyway, insects. Pteraspis. This one is more closer to the fish category. We hate the word fish here, and it's normal because it doesn't mean anything, but it's a vertebrate. It doesn't have a jaw. It's part of the Heterostraceae, and it doesn't have a jaw, so the mouth, we think, was just an opening. And in fossils, it's very funny because usually they look like happy smileys. So cute. It has a unicorn horn, so very fancy. A spike here, a spike there. Very streamlined. This whole cephalic part is completely bony, so very cool, part of a whole family of fish-like vertebrates that were very bony with plates and everything, and we sleep on them. Really, we sleep on them. Next, 24. The first spider. There are 2 spiders in here. Idmonarachne, very cool. 1 centimeter, so not a monster. But we have a lot of data because they managed to scan it, and it's so great. We have so much, and it's a bit different from our extant species of spiders because it still has the plates on the top of the abdomen and the segmentation that is very rare to see in extant species. So, pretty cool. Next, Jakapil. Jakapil, last of the dinosaurs we have on the list. Very interesting, was discovered this year, which is a stem. We don't know. We don't know exactly if it's a stem Thyreophorus or a stem Pachycephalosaurian. I'm more of a Thyreophorus side of the argument. It's very cool because it's part of it has so many spikes. It has a sort of Stegosaurus-like jaw, but it has these bony plates on its back. So quite weird, quite cool because of how basal it is in its own group. And yeah, a very cool discovery, really. And we have a lot of material on this one. It had very cool representations, so quite easy, in my opinion. Amy said, oh, technically that's not a spider, we have no fucking idea what it is because there is no skill producing organs, which makes it a really strange animal. Aha, let me look at it again. Yeah, I guess this could be something else. Still among arachnids, I guess. Yeah, I just saw I wrote stem spider. So, interesting arthropod. Based and Jakapiled. I love that. Nectocaris, very weird animal. Of course, it comes from Burgess shales. So this was actually supposed to be. We thought it was a shrimp, hence the caris. And it was re-described later, and now we kind of think it might be a stem mollusk, so like a stem hagfish. No, what's the name for these? We'll say octopus. So very interesting. I kind of like it, and this particular representations was made from by Marian Collins, which is very interesting because she was the one who first made the representations in It's a Wonderful World. So Stephen Jay Gould, best boy. I want to be him one day. So, she did the first representation of this animal as a shrimp, and nowadays she's still working. It has been 30 years, and that's beautiful. Next, after Nectocaris, Inostrancevia. Ooh, we don't have many mammal-like synapsid things. What am I saying? We have 4. That's a lot. We have 4. Forget what I'm saying. Inostrancevia, gorgonopsid, very big, a top predator of its environment in the past. I really wanted to include it because I am watching Primeval these days. I have DVDs. I'm watching the DVDs these days, and I wanted to have the Inostrancevia because of how cool it was. But it's also a very interesting animal in and of itself, so it has its place in the challenge. And 28. Mongolarachne. This one is a spider. You're going to say, well, that's a second spider. We already have a spider. Yeah, but that's not the same, okay? The first one was weird, and this one is big. It's 12 centimeters. On the underside, here, that's the male, and here, that's the female. And she's beautiful. As you can see, the legs of the male look quite thinner compared to the female, so we can say that this female is quite thick. Yeah, very, very beautiful spider. Most people tend to represent it as a sort of Nephilidae. I don't really agree with that. I mean, it's just a big spider. It doesn't have to look like a Nephilidae. So I hope people go weird with this one. Next, Daeodon. We were in Curstober. This is another, maybe the last of the Curstobers. It's the hell pig. It's weird. It's actually not a pig, if I remember well. They are closer to hippopotamus. Very cool. People love them. And are starring apparently in the latest Amazon Prime series, something. I don't remember. Yeah. Ding dong. Don't forget to look before opening the door. There might be a Daeodon behind. Okay. 2010. 30. Archaefructus. This one is a bit controversial, so we add it, but we have a lot of doubts on it. We know that we have fossils of it, and what's interesting in it is that apparently it's the first fruit plant. It's the first plant we've discovered with flowers. The weird thing is that apparently it is aquatical. So what's going on here? I don't know. So yes. Do I have much more to say? I don't have any more to say that isn't going to be slender. So please draw. This one is a bit debated. Paleobotany mood. Yes, yes. So I won't have. I won't express my opinion on this one. But first plant, first fruit plant. Cool. Next and final Ambulocetus. We're finishing with another mammal. It's well, do we really have to present it? Really? Apparently, it didn't have its kill today. Do you remember that sentence from Walking with Monsters? I was shocked. I really hate the narration in this documentary, because for some reason they really went overboard with the awesome brawl and violence overall. It's I'm a Walking with Dinosaurs girl, and that's not because I like dinosaurs. It's really because the other ones have gone very into violence. And I remember distinctly that for this animal, at some point, they really say, "Oh, it didn't have its kill today, so it's going to hunt." Like, what? Does this mean that if it doesn't have its kill of the day, it has somehow lost the day? Oh man, I didn't get that kill. Guys, I feel stupid. Anyway, stem whale, aquatic, pretty cool, has very big teeth, and with this we are done. Ah, finally,